Did I say it was going to be a quick one? Well, it certainly was a quick one. We're still talking with engineer Abimbola Akinjo. She's MD of the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority. And as to be expected, she's been talking about the red line that was commissioned yesterday and other things, transportation in Lagos, and how it is that her agency, Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, is not just about the rail line, but all forms of transportation in Lagos. She's also explained where they see it as the need arises to other people. Now, we're talking about the red line that's been commissioned. You saw the president and the governor of Lagos State taking a test ride on it. It's going to be up and really available for us all, according to the MD here, in about 2 months, perhaps no more than 3 months. But in the meantime, they're going to be working out all the kinks. Now, it's a passenger transportation system. I think it needs emphasizing because our people travel with loads. Somebody might have a basket of ewedu coming in from Agege, and she needs to get it to Oyingbo. Does she have space on that on the red line?
Well, not really. And I say not really with a huge sense of responsibility because, like you say, the system is a passenger transport system. And so, therefore, for us, we must put the passenger first. There could be conversations with market women and men who want to transport. And then we may see whether we can work with them to say maybe the very first train or the very last train or find a train that could be dedicated. And those conversations are conversations that we will have with the market people. But the most important thing to note is that these systems, the metro system, is purely for passengers. Obviously, you can carry, what you can carry, you can take on the train. And sometimes where you can find, like a suitcase, whatever that you need to carry, because obviously we will end up going to the airport.
Yes.
We can see those things.
Okay.
But we're not talking about baskets of produce and stuff like that.
Okay, then.
Yes.
But a traveler might just be able to make it, for instance, who wants to end up at the airport, for example.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Or even going to Ibadan. So I have my suitcase and I want to take the train to Agege, so then to hop onto the Lagos-Ibadan rail line. So
all of those
are
going
things
to be accommodated.
But the challenge would be when you are coming with produce, market produce, and you want to travel.
Not quite.
It may be very difficult.
Okay, then. Engineer, I beg your pardon, well, I have an engineer with me, but it is Mazi Okoroafo in Arochukwu. Good morning to you, sir. Well, he's not there yet. I understand that you are there, Mazi. Mazi Okoroafo. Well, I'm sorry that we lost Mazi Okoroafo. Engineer Abimbola Akinjo is our guest, MD of the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority. She's been talking all things transport, well, not all things transport. She sort of left, for the purposes of today, concentrated it on the red line. It's the second line that is about to be commissioned. Well, no. It was commissioned yesterday. It actually was fully commissioned yesterday. You saw it working there, but things still need to be worked on, and in somewhere like 3 months, maybe less, it will be available to the public. And, well, there are still more lines to come. There's the green, purple. Governor Sanwo-Olu was saying that in the clip that we had there. There's the yellow and the orange. And these will be extending the range, I will imagine, because some are saying that the red line ends up in Oyingbo. Others are saying Marina. Why the confusion? Okay,
so every rail line that we've done out of the two, we always speak about the implementation of the first phase. So this has been the implementation of the first phase. So the whole design for Marina, for the red line, is to go from Agbado all the way to Marina. And so therefore, that's why you would hear people talk about it going to Marina.
Okay. Yes. Good morning, Mr. George. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning Good morning to the lady. Uncle Yori, I want to thank the lady before you for the good work she's been doing.
Engineer Akinjo.
Engineer Akinjo, yes. I'm really impressed. Somebody told me about the same impact she made when she was working for London on the ground. So please, I want to ask a question. It concerns the period, the gestation period. She said it might take about 3 months or so before it can really be open to the public. Isn't that too long? The level of education in Lagos is not that low, especially with this one that is not an electric system. People can easily adjust how to board, how to do the administration of ticketing. And so why the 3 months? We are eager to use the train, madam.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. Joe. Why does it have to take 3 months?
Well, it doesn't have to take 3 months. And I guess from our perspective, we say it as a 2-month position. But I've said the worst case scenario is that we extend to a 3-month place. But in all fairness, within Lamata, we're working towards being able to go commercial in 2 months' time.
Okay. Now, you've also spoken about this being the first phase of the red line.
That's correct.
And that's why we're talking about it terminating at Oyingbo. And when it is full, when it is fully commissioned, when the second phase has come online, then it also will, extend right up to Marina.
So maybe we can talk about that.
Sure.
So yesterday, we actually discussed, Mr. Governor discussed the second phase. So the original design for the red line is that it goes all the way to Marina. Now, for it to go over the Marina, we're crossing the body of water and we're crossing huge bridges. Now, one of the things that Lamata and the state government's been doing is looking at a quick, easy win to bring connectivity for Lagos. And that's what Mr. Governor was speaking to yesterday when he spoke to the second phase that we did, signing of a contract. And that means that we will look at the implementation from Oyingbo to National Theatre. That's a shorter rail system or rail track that will be built that will allow that red line to connect with the blue line. Connectivity is what brings efficiency of running a rail system or any transport system. And so, therefore, the state is looking at starting that work to ensure that we bring that connection in about 3 years. Now, if that happens, that will be the first thing you will see completed as part of the red line. Now, the opportunity to go to Marina still exists, but that we know will take a longer gestation period. So I just wanted to explain that because anybody would have heard Mr. Governor speak yesterday about going to connect at National Theatre.
Thank you for that. It's useful information to augment what you heard the governor speaking about yesterday. Pastor Adebayo in Kaduna, good morning to you, sir.
Adebanjo, sir. Adebanjo.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Yeah, that's what I did say. Did I get it wrong? I said Pastor Adebanjo in Kaduna.
Okay, Adebanjo. Good morning. To the MD too. The question is, why are we in a rush to commission something that still needs a 3-month period for it to be fully operational to the public? Hello?
Okay, yeah, I got you. Thank you. Short and sharp. Okay. Why didn't you do everything that you could behind the scenes, so to speak, meaning don't bring in all the big men yet, so that when you do the commissioning, then the day after tomorrow, it's up and running?
Okay, very simple answer to that. First of all, the commissioning says that we have completed all infrastructure. Beyond that, when we start tomorrow or next week, we will begin to carry test passengers.
Okay.
And that's part of why we have commissioned it.
Oh, those ones are lucky. How did you select them?
But we did that with the Blue Line as well.
Okay.
So, we would have a telephone number, Lagosians called in, and we would pick from that and we would allow them. But the first thing we would do, we would use civil servants as the first set to go on it. So that's the reason we commissioned it, because you will start to see rail operations, but it's just not open for commercial operations. That's it.
Okay. I hope that satisfies you, Pastor Adebanjo, because they must test these things. But I suppose he also was, I'm now implying this on your behalf, that do all of that so that by the time you people go public, the next day or the day after I can go to the station. But it doesn't quite work like that.
Well, no, because like I said, we're going to be working with members of the public. We're going to be carrying passengers. I'm just not charging you for it.
Okay.
That's the difference.
Okay.
I will be carrying passengers, but you are not paying until we do those 2 to 3 months worth of testing, for which the train will be, and you can take it when we put it up, you can choose to get off at wherever station that we open up and you can go. Okay. And that's quite normal. So it's not an unusual thing.
It's about crossing the T's and dotting the I's.
That's correct.
Okay. Benga in Abuja, thank you for holding on. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Yori, and good morning to your guests there. I want to appreciate her for the good work she's been doing on the issue of the management of Lamata and the land, the achievement in the area of the blue rail and the red line rail. I want to use the opportunity of me to also congratulate the Mr. President that his dream and vision is coming to fulfillment in his lifetime, and that yesterday was a glorious day when that a project initiated as a governor, he came to commission it as the president of Nigeria. That's a great achievement. On that note, I want to appeal to him. We in Abuja here, we see him as our father. I would say it's a governor. That it's not that I think he's the one ruling Abuja. Let me use that language. We want him to give us this rail before he leaves in the first term of his tenure. Abuja has no any train moving in Abuja metropolis. The only one we have is moving from Abuja to Kaduna that was done by President Jonathan and finished by former President Buhari. So I'm appealing to him now that this is a modern city. This is the seat of power in Nigeria. How can we say we are a modern city and there is no any rail moving anywhere in Abuja? Please and please, Mr. President, if this is the only thing you can do for me and for Abuja people, will forever remember you. And your name will be written in gold as it's been in Lagos today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling in, Benga. What Benga speaks about there, it's sort of a national dream, isn't it, for all states to also, I think the minister was saying it yesterday, the Minister of Transportation was saying it yesterday, he was encouraging, let me use that word, all states to get on board, look at what's happened in Lagos. It can happen given the will anywhere.
I mean, absolutely correct. And in fairness, we are working with Ogun State, like Mr. Governor was saying yesterday. This particular red line goes all the way to Agbado, and Agbado is in Ogun State. In implementing this work, we worked a lot with Ogun State. There was a lot of collaboration between the two states. Our final station is in Agbado, and our depot is there. But they themselves are talking about extending it further. The governor of Ogun State is speaking with our governor about extending also the blue line into Agbara. So at least our own neighbors, we know that they are on the same track with us, and we're working together.
Well, you probably appreciate Benga's point, Lagos being the capital city, and quite frankly, nobody is thumbing their nose or anything like that. It is Lagos that is really leading here, and look, bring us up to par from the capital city is what they're saying. But by the way, there are also other trains. For instance, there are trains that you could board in Lagos and end up in Abeokuta and beyond, right? But that's different. That's the
intercity system. That's the Lagos, the one that is the Lagos Ibadan now. So if you take it from Ebute Metta, it can drop you Wapaland to different. They have, I think, 2 stations within.
But is that also interconnected with Lamata?
It's the same train that gets to. So that's the one I'm talking about that you can integrate with at Agege.
Okay. So it looks like, there are, good days ahead for the people of Lagos. And you've spoken about cost. that is going to be worked out. This is also part of why it might need 3 months. You might have your ideas on paper. You're going to have to go out there and, as they say, do the practical and work these things out. Then I'm just guessing that, oh, let me bring up one point that I saw on social media. I know you can't believe everything you hear on social media, but there was the story told of officials of the rails, you know, pulling fast ones, ticketing and that kind of a thing. People had to queue for ticket. There was a scarcity of ticket, all that kind of junk. Security-wise, first of all, did you hear anything of that nature, and is it possible?
So we heard there was a gentleman who had gone on our trains and came back with feedback. Now, for us, that's always welcome, because feedback is what we use to fine-tune our processes and ensure that loopholes are dealt with. Now, one of the things the gentleman spoke about was ensuring that those who wanted to buy a car, because we don't sell tickets.
Okay.
So if we're talking about ticket, it will not be our rail system. We use the Cowrie card. So what we have is that transport card that Lagos State has that you can use on every mode of transportation.
It's called the Cowrie card.
The Cowrie card. You use it for the rails, you use it for buses, and you use it on the regulated ferries. That is the way you travel on public transport in Lagos. Now, the gentleman I'm talking about actually put out a post and talked about his challenges when he went.
That's right.
And one of the things he had said was that people who wanted to buy the Cowrie card were in the same queue as those who just wanted to top up, and that was causing delay for if I just want to top up and somebody who has to buy a Cowrie card, because to buy it we do a little bit of KYC. You need to talk about you need to put your address, your telephone number, and we took that on board. So now at our stations there are different queues for you to buy the card and top it up, and there are different queues for you to top up. Beyond that, we're bringing on self-service systems that you can top up from. And we're also looking at ways in which you can buy and then remotely register your card. Okay. So you don't have to be.
Okay. Mazio Korafo in Arochukwu, I'm happy that you're back. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Sayuri. Good morning, Nigeria. Honestly, congratulations to the Lagos State government for that foresight. Honestly, transportation is one of the things that facilitate business. Transportation is one of the things that make people to move faster to the next level. Honestly, congratulations. I thank the president for that thing. But we should, I'll just call on the management of that like this. You should try as much as possible. Competent hands man all those areas. All those, because this is a digital brand of transportation system in Nigeria. Now, that's why when some people start saying, when the federal government said Nigeria Airport Authority should go back to Lagos, people start and say, look, you cannot compare Lagos with Abuja. What we have in Lagos, as far as I'm concerned, Lagos is the ultimate. Lagos is, if you check the world map, Lagos State is still ringing as capital of Nigeria. I didn't say Abuja. So when you finish your program, go and check the world map and see whether what I'm telling you is true or not. Check. Honestly, our government should try, the Lagos State government should try as much as possible. All the facilities needed. We are good. Nigeria is good. We do everything there. But the management of that red line should do what? Should be very, very effective. Because Nigeria will not move towards that place. Nigeria will not manage because this is the cheapest and the shortest cost of transportation for the athletes. Maintain it so that we move forward. Because this is business. As far as it's business, it helps and make our business to move in. Kudos to Lagos State government. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Nigerians.
Thank you very much, Mazi. Spoke there about staff, quality of staff. I want you to talk about this a bit, please. And in doing so, also talk about what our technical alliances are with people. I saw the Chinese ambassador there, so I'm going to immediately assume that they played a big part in all of this. Are there also Americans involved? Talk to me about the staffing of our, what do they call them, your technical partners.
So in terms of implementation, if I take the Blue Line, for instance, the Chinese were the Chinese company built it. And we're working with a Chinese operator to operate it, oversighted by us. But we have ensured that all of the people that they have recruited are young Nigerians who are being trained.
Okay.
So majorly out of, say, 100% of staff that we have on that system, we have maybe 10 to 15% of them are Chinese.
Okay.
So we have young engineers now who are being trained in train maintenance, in signaling systems, in communications, in customer service on the train systems. So that's the blue line.
Oh, okay, that's the blue line. Let me clarify something about that. You said the Chinese operate it at the moment. What does that mean? Do they drive the trains?
So today, when you are running a railway system, you will have an operating team. That operating team will have responsibility for driving, will have responsibility for scheduling, will have responsibility for ensuring that customer people are there on site. Lamata plays an overall, so we have a management contract with a Chinese firm. Okay. That's what we've done today. That Chinese firm, we sat with them, we oversighted with them and ensured we looked at the way in which they recruited Nigerians. So if you go on the blue line today, you would find a Nigerian driving the train that has been trained to do so. The last time I went on a train ride with the Deputy High Commissioner of Britain, he was quite excited that it was a female driver that we had, and that is how inclusive we are. All of those people are, and that's why I said we have, if out of 100%, no more than 15% of them are Chinese, who have the expertise that we require, and they train our own people. Okay. So the understanding and the vision is, sooner rather than later, our people will be able to take up even the managerial role. So when we started, for instance, station managers were Chinese and the assistant station managers are Nigerians. Okay. And that's the way. So if we're looking at the red line also is one that will be, the Chinese have built it, but we're working with a firm called FMIL. And for us, they are the ones that we're talking to about concessioning. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that they have, and we have been there ourselves because we're quite involved. They're talking to First Metro, Istanbul Metro. They also have a rail system that is quite new compared to world over. So we have been working with them, and they will probably be the technical partners that will work with FMIL, that we will see that concession to, and they will work with us. And the same will occur here, where we will have the majority of the staff will be Nigerians, Istanbul Metro staff who would come from Turkey, would train, would oversight to the point where they can be withdrawn as we get more confident and more capacity within Lagos.
Oh, wow. Well, Abimbola, I just want to thank you so very much. It's been a treasure trove of information in the past almost 55 minutes. Congratulations on, the commissioning of the Red Line, as people have said. And thank you very much for coming along. We wish you continued success.
Thank you very much.
Indeed. Now, so that's the Managing Director.